Nation. This is another case study, and I titled this one a little bit harsh, and forgive me if I'm a little bit too harsh on this one, but I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. This is a title for two reasons. One, a Maryland bridge I did, I don't know, probably 13, 15 years ago. This CT, it was an office that I owned with a partnership that then I took over, that then I sold, then I was starting up doing other things, building this office, doing other stuff. And the patient would find me and come drive, 20, 25 miles from my old office to find me now. And I don't know exactly every story that he has and why he's looking to find me. There's no implants here. There's no full mouth reconstruction and rehabilitation here. But he does have a lot of congenitally missing teeth here. And what I don't like in terms of restorative rehabilitation case is the fact that these are Maryland bridges that I did a while ago, and I don't like them. They look good. The patient's happy. And I guess I should be happy, but they pop off, and he just wants them cemented all the time. And they probably pop off. I don't remember back then when he was a patient of the other office, whether or not they came off every year or they come off every couple of years. I don't know. I just feel like this can't be, I don't want to be doing this all the time. I don't want to be re-cementing. So when I sold my office, I guess when my old partner, new owner, put them on, they didn't last more than a couple months. So I don't know what the deal was with that. But then he didn't trust that person. Then he went to another dentist, and then they popped off again. And this is the headache. And you would think he would learn to actually get them restored correctly instead of these Maryland bridges, but he was so probably happy that he only spent, the cost of a crown to do it. I didn't charge him more than that, I guess, and he really likes that, but I think he's probably paid probably a couple thousand in just getting them re-cemented. So before we move on, let me just look at the treatment assessment, which is guy looks great. Okay, so let's look at that. All the treatment assessment is in the green. He's green bone density. He's light green in facial bone and light green in bone constriction, light green in eye nerve and ridge height. The only yellow I will give him is with sinus stuff when we're looking over here, possibly here. But other than that, we might have a little sinus bump, but doing an implant here or a bridge here is fine. He's actually fine with these congenitally missing premolars. I'm not really sure how. I think he just is always, he doesn't know any different, So he's just has accommodated that. But let's look at these laterals real quick, and let's look at them from a lens of implants. So let's look at that on the CT. And if we go up here, we will look at the bone and evaluate that. And sure enough, he's got parallel roots. I don't recall that he ever had orthodontics done, so that bone is great. I like 2 walls of cortical bone, and when we put an implant in, that's an 11.5 by 3.7, 3.5. That's what it will look like here. And if we were to do the same on the other side, that's what it would look like there. The tricky part with this is to make sure that the gum line looks appropriate. But looking at this, I think anybody could be a hero here. I don't think that that I remember that he had really thin gum tissue or something. So this is a winner, and it's kind of bummer that I feel like, shoot, I'm now stuck with this guy that tracked me down and wants me to keep re-cementing these two things, and whichever one pops out. And the last time I saw him was maybe last year sometime. I've only seen him maybe twice, 3 times at most at this office. This is 3 years old, this one. He came by, and so I expressed that, God, I hate these Maryland Bridge things. They just pop off. You know, when you're biting on these other associated abutment teeth, the flex of those teeth, they have to happen, and eventually the bond breaks. And he still didn't really care, but I think he finally got the idea that I am regretful of giving him the choice. And so he sent me a box of chocolate-covered macadamia nuts because he went to Hawaii that week before I cemented it. So maybe he's just kind of feeling bad. So now let's look at these two, or these 3 congenitally missing teeth. He's got these primary teeth here. Why do I hate these cases? Well, this one's not too bad. Usually people have orthodontics, and the problem I have with the orthodontic side of it is that they typically leave these in while they do the orthodontics, and then they ask the implant dentist or the general dentist to take it out after they finish the orthodontics, and then you have to restore it. And the problem I have is that this space here is a really weird size space, and typically people that have primary teeth, they're usually up a little bit higher, and the teeth, there's a little bit more spread for the crown, and that crown is a weird shape relative to the adjacent or the other premolar. Most premolars are pretty close in size, so you can see where he's got these 2 premolars, and they're relatively close in the width of the tooth, meaning the mesial distal direction. But when we look at these congenitally missing spaces that these primary teeth leave, they're these weird sizes. They're not molar, and they're not premolar for the person's dentition. And what happens is the orthodontics makes all these contacts tight. They bring it all together, they make everything nice, and they leave these in there, and now I get a screwed up crown that has to go in there. And a lot of the time when you look at these congenitally primary teeth bone, usually they're collapsed. And here it's more about maybe a little density problem, but overall this patient actually has a lot of width. So once again, you know, ideally he would get these out and you would fix those with implants and have the orthodontics done. So I would say take these teeth out, go get orthodontics first, then come back for the implant. Don't go get orthodontics and then take them out after you took the braces off and then you put the implant in. It's totally the wrong thing. So this is kind of the secondary hate part that I hate, but the first part is my own doing. The second thing is a message for orthodontists that might happen on my video and actually watch this one, and hopefully we can have a lively discussion in the comments. But I would love to see orthodontists actually understand that this is a prosthetic problem if you leave it in and then you do the orthodontics. Take them out, do the orthodontics, and restore it. And, doing a 3-inch bridge isn't the end of the world, So if you got to do that, you got to do that. Most of the time I see people that have primary teeth in this areas especially on the lower, the ridge becomes pretty narrow and it becomes a small diameter implant, small little nothing, but it's got this weird shaped ridge that's narrow and it's kind of elongated tooth. You're trying to get contacts. It's the worst. But if anybody out there is doing these Maryland bridges, please comment on this too and tell me how you make these successful. But the ones that I've seen successful are the old school ones where I see a full metal PFM lingual side. These are not that. These are prepped, lingual distal and lingual mesial slots on these adjacent anterior teeth, and maybe that's the problem. I don't remember ever doing the PFM with the big lingual metal on the back, and I don't know if he had the occlusion for that. Maybe that's what it was. I don't remember, but anyway, so I called it. I hate this one. So, or I hate this. Anyway, thanks for listening, and hopefully you'll check us out on our other videos that we have on YouTube that I do, case studies, on our Facebook stuff as well. So tune in for our live broadcast stream because we talk about cases with doctors